I really like competitive swimming and hanging out with my friends. That makes me smile. And I like reading, like, a lot.
We constantly have music on in the house, and there's lots of singing and dancing throughout the house at all times, so
Yes.
that's a big thing for us, I think.
I want to be an author.
An author?
Yeah, and I want to write realistic fiction books.
Taiya was 5, just about to start kindergarten, and Chad was away in Fort McMurray working. And Taiya and I were rushed to the Alberta Children's Hospital from Okotoks, and we met with a hematologist that told us about white blood cells, and in my head I was thinking, I was really confused at first. And then everything kind of just got pushed so fast, and I knew it was really serious. I was like, okay, I gotta call Chad. Like, he has to come home. Like, this isn't just, like, this is a big thing. So just didn't seem real, or like maybe it was like, are you sure? Like, yeah.
When I was up north working, and everything Amanda was telling me throughout that day, of course, I was working night shift, so it was in the evening, and of course I played Google Doctor, unfortunately, dialing up every symptom that they're telling us, and once I got the news that they're going to ACH, the top of the list for everything that she had mentioned to me was leukemia, and of course, you don't even look at that one, you look at the next ones, right? And you're like, okay, well, it could be this, could be this, could be this, but leukemia was actually the first thing on the list based off everything I was looking into when it came to no platelets, elevated white blood cells, all that stuff. So I know what leukemia is, but my daughter's 5 years old. That doesn't happen to 5-year-olds. That happens to me when I'm 60 or 70, right? So, but once we knew that we were going to the ACH and staying the night, I came home and walked into the oncology unit, and another fancy word I'd never heard of. Mm-hmm. Walked in still not understanding what the heck I was walking to. So
yeah,
it was quite shocking for all of us, obviously.
And so for me, right from the beginning, I always thought, like, okay, like we can do this. Like, this is doable. Like, I saw my cousin go through it, but like, I was a teenager, so I didn't see it firsthand. I knew it had been done before, so I was just always like, okay, she's got cancer, what next? What do we got to do to get rid of it? Like,
I knew some people outside of the family that had been touched by cancer, but cancer was always a fatal interaction. So that was, when I heard that word, of course, that's right where I went, like, oh my gosh, now what? And of course, Amanda was the real reason we all stuck it out together. She'd been there, kind of talked about it, and was optimistic right from the start. So she really set the ground rules for our rules in our room and in our visit, and you know what? That's what kept us going. We just stuck to the structure that Amanda set, and it was good.
I kind of just thought of it as like, maybe like I thought I was just sick, like the flu or something. But I guess after a week, after like needles and like IVs, I think I kind of started to get the idea that it was getting serious. But I didn't really know, and I didn't have an idea of what it really was. I kind of just knew that I was really sick. I remember I wasn't allowed to leave my room to go play with my friends.
do you remember getting your central line in or changing that? The dressing?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. We had to change my central line like every week, and I hated that. I just wanted to get it over with because they would like swab my chest and like clean it out, and then they would put another bandage on it, and then they'd come back a week later and be like, okay, time to do it again. I'd be like, ah.
It would hurt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it stung. I had a lot of troubles when they were doing I don't know what it's called, when they would put me under anesthesia. I guess I would have a lot of hard times because, I don't know, I just really didn't like going under and waking up. And I guess it was really brave of me to do it anyway, because a lot of the times I would just be like, no, I don't want to do it. But yeah, it was really hard for me to do a lot of the things, because most of the things I didn't want to be there.
Yeah, she knew that she didn't wake up, or she didn't come out of it well, and so she really didn't like going under, but she just did it anyways. Any type of blood work, like once we got the central line, like, it
It
was
was
so good
easy.
because they could just access, and like, without having to poke her.
I think the people in the lab coats were the scariest people in the hospital, right? And immediately when they come in, and they would come in and kind of unannounced, like we wouldn't know sometimes. We might know that we're going to get blood work that day, but she would absolutely have a meltdown as soon as they walked in. But she also knew we had to do it. And she would put that brave face on and kind of turn away and just like get it done. But she had rules for them too, right? She 5 years old and she's telling them you got 2 chances, that's it, right?
Yeah, you
one
can
in
poke
each
me
arm,
twice.
that's it.
Yeah,
You're not
that's
allowed more
it.
than one in one arm, and
Yeah.
she set ground rules. And you know what? We helped her with that too. We followed
Yeah.
it too, and come back later. You know.
Yeah,
And
I remember you sent one guy out. You
Yeah.
said, that's it. And he's like, well, I need it. And he's like, well, then you can explain to the doctors why you didn't get it.
she's doing so much
Yeah.
to fight this, and she's going through so much, and so we just had to. I mean, there's some things we had to do, and there's some things where you knew, like, you know what, this is a point where I got to show her I'm on her team and support her, and say, no, you go explain then. And don't want to be combative by any means, but you want to support everything you can with her, and it keeps her fighting too. So
It's overwhelming to think about how much support we have. We live in Okotoks, and it's, you know, a smaller community, and everyone just came together. Like, the dance studio put something together. Chad's hockey team is incredible. They actually they did a fundraiser for our family, and they have continued every 2 years a fundraiser to support Okotoks family going through childhood cancer as well. And our families, like,
when it touches a child, I think that it wakes people up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like cancer. When you hear cancer, everyone feels for people who have cancer, but then when it's a child, it's like,
it just
I
seems
think
wrong.
everyone,
It seems
everyone
wrong,
realizes, like, wow, cancer can touch anybody. Like it, and it's when you meet a family that has been affected by childhood cancer, I think everyone really gets it at that point. It's an unbelievably terrible disease and a terrible symptom. And there's people that I didn't know and didn't know me and didn't know our family, but they came out because they heard of a little girl who had cancer and they wanted to help a family, and it was incredible. The outpouring of our community was just incredible.
Yeah.
And since we've done that, it's springboarded from Taiya's benefit for our family to every 2 years doing it for another family, and it's always childhood cancer related so far. And again, community support. People don't know these people, and they just
Yeah.
want to come out. It's amazing. There's just so much outpouring, and it is really, honestly, the only reason why, for me personally, it was the only reason why I can really focus on my child's health and what I had to do, because I stopped worrying about money. The bills came out. You know, where we could, we paid it forward to other families too. We met a lot of families that were financially even harder up than we were.
I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful that we were able to just focus on Taiya.
This is what we're doing for work
Yeah.
now, so roll up our sleeves. Let's get at her. I couldn't imagine having to, for the whole period, have to worry about finances. And then when the treatment's done and if we're fortunate enough to take our child home, which we were, to then have to go move on into your next phase and moving on as a family, but be devastated financially, to take that next burden on, I couldn't imagine what that would be like. We were very fortunate. Very, very fortunate. And we know that we're fortunate. Very fortunate.
When I hear the word believe, I think of it as believing that you can do it. Believing that you can succeed in doing this challenge that was just randomly thrown at you. And everybody believing in all these kids that are doing it, yeah.
She couldn't donate blood, so she signed up on one match, and she was, I think, a one match donor per se on the list for about 3 months, and then all of a sudden she got a phone call, and that was to donate for Taiya. And all she knew at that time was that there was a young girl in Canada that needed her stem cells, and so she went through the process with one match. Obviously success, and then we got that 2-year wait period where we have to wait before we can contact, and once we did, we phoned her, and she was on the subway heading home from work, and she answered in Poland, and obviously quite alarmed when this English-speaking family said hello, and she,
Hi, Gabby.
hi, is this Gabriella? Yeah. And once she realized, it clicked right away for her. We can hear all of a sudden she got quite emotional, and she's like, "Can I call you back?" And in broken English, we're like, "Of course." And she just wanted to get off the train at that point.
Yeah.
But she called us, and then I think within a month we had asked her, like, we'd like to fly you out to Canada and show you where we live and meet our family. We got a lot of thank yous that want to happen here. So, and she came out. She was a brave young woman. She came out and she visited us and stayed with us for a couple of weeks.
She saved your life, right?
She
Yeah.
did.
Yes, yeah.
And they still communicate all the time.
Yeah, we still.
Birthday wishes and
Yeah, we call or we text her, and she sends out birthday wishes, even to my grandparents.
Yeah.
And we send each other Christmas presents, and
Yeah.
so we're still in a lot of contact with her, which is
Yeah.
really important. Like, as soon as I met her, I knew she was like, yeah, I really like you a lot. And yeah, I guess we kind of, when she came out, we showed her like everything. Really, we tried to, like, in a couple of days, we literally, like, we went to the Calgary Tower, we went tubing.
She's terrified of heights, so we take her on the Banff gondola and up in the Calgary Tower.
Yeah.
But she did it. She totally
Yeah.
came with us. Yeah.
so if you don't have money, donate blood.
Donate blood.
Jump on one match. There's lots of options out there, and I'm sure there's plenty more that we don't even know of.
Yeah.
It's just the ones we're familiar with.
Yeah.
There's lots of ways to help.
It means a lot to me. I probably couldn't have done it without all the support of my family. And yeah, thank you for all of that. It was,
Say it like
yeah.
you're saying it to the audience. Yeah. Thank you for coming.
Thank you
tonight.
for coming tonight. It means a lot to all these kids and me. Yeah.